Most people will spend more time planning for a 2-week vacation than they will for a 30-year retirement. Most people think that retirement is a finish line, right? You've worked, you've now reached the finish line, you ease into retirement. Reality is, though, that that's actually the starting point of a 3-decade-long marathon. Now, you may be wondering if your savings are going to last you through retirement. You may be wondering how much money you're going to have to give CRA when your time comes. You're not alone in that regard, but winging it, taking it on the fly, that's one of the most expensive mistakes, probably the most expensive mistake that you can make. Now, I spent 27 years working with Canadians who were planning for or then entering into retirement. On this channel last year, I put together a 35,000 word research project, essentially, into a series that I called Second Act. In the video today, I'm going to be giving you an entire roadmap in one video. I'm going to give you the must-haves for each of the retirement steps. Plus, I'm going to point out some specific deep dives when you're ready to master the details, depending on the topic that interests you the most. By the end of the video, you're going to have a clear, confident strategy for your own personal second act. So let's dive into this. This is important stuff. In episode 1 of the series, I started with building the foundation. The very first thing that you have to do before you start crunching the numbers, building spreadsheets, which is the direction a lot of people take, you need to define what success looks like to you. This is a very personal decision. Most Canadians, skip the lifestyle part of the equation. They crunch the numbers, but they don't actually consider the reality of retirement. I get it. They haven't done it yet, so it may be hard to visualize. Things like, are you planning to downsize and stay in your community? Are you looking to travel 3, 4, 5, 6 months of the year? In the first episode, we talked about establishing your baseline. You need to know where you are today and where you want to end up. And if you don't have a clear picture of your journey, you're essentially flying a plane without a dashboard. Episode 1 of the series will show you exactly how to visualize your own personal journey. It'll increase the odds of you getting there successfully. Now, once you have that vision, you need to choose the methods, the vehicles that you're going to use to accomplish that. And we covered that in episode 2. Now, in Canada, the debate always seems to circle back to RRSP versus TFSA. The answer here isn't which one is better. The answer is which one is better for you right now. The biggest consideration is your tax bracket. And if you are still working, if you're in your peak earning years, the RSP today is still a massive tax tool for immediate tax relief. Not in every case. I covered that in the video, but in many cases. Now, if you're in a lower tax bracket or if you're already retired and the tax bracket has gone down, then the TFSA, things might shift that way. It offers you some great tax-free growth that's not going to haunt you when you try to withdraw it later. And in episode 2, I did a deep dive into how you can choose between the two of them. We talked about how to use spousal RRSPs to balance future income. Check that out, episode 2, to help you make these important decisions. There's a link on your screen right now. Now, in episode 3, I reminded you that it's not always what you make, it's what you keep. And in the episode, retirement planning got a little bit more technical. You need to think about something called income sequencing. And if you just start pulling money out of various accounts accidentally, you could trigger an OAS clawback. You could push yourself up into a higher tax bracket, and these can happen unintentionally. You're just not thinking about it, or you don't know the correct method. In the video, I talked about tax efficient income, and that involves looking at things like pension income splitting, where you can move up to 50% of eligible pension income to a lower earning spouse. If you are aware of that one move alone, it can save a couple thousands of dollars every single year. The key action here is to plan the order of your withdrawals in retirement. Is it non-registered first? Is it RRSP first? You got to get that sequence right. Now, I then went on to talk about the elephant in the room, and that is debt. If you enter retirement with a mortgage or with high interest credit card debt, that is like trying to run that long marathon, but you're wearing a weighted vest. It limits your cash flow. It increases your stress when the markets are volatile. And I discuss strategies for becoming debt-free before you pull the trigger on retirement. I do recognize that not everyone is in a position to get to retirement tax-free. That's not possible for everyone. But if you can't be debt-free, then you got to at least prepare a plan to manage those interest payments so that they don't eat up your lifestyle budget. I go into more depth in that in episode 4. Now, in episode 5, we looked at a trap that a lot of Canadians fall into, of thinking that our healthcare system is free. That's ingrained into our brains by the politicians. Our healthcare expenses typically peak when we're older. Now, it is true. Normally, things like doctors, hospital visits, they are covered for the most part, but there are tons of hidden costs, things like aging, like long-term care, prescription drugs, and those types of expenses can be devastating to a tight budget in retirement. Another consideration, a major consideration that a lot of people overlook when they move into retirement is the issue of insurance transition. Now, when you leave your employer, very often you have a plan through there, and you have a very small window, usually 30, 60 days, that you can convert your group coverage to a personal plan without medical exam. If you miss that window, you might be uninsurable for a lot of different conditions. The key action here, audit your health needs, look into private health insurance options before you leave your job. After you do, it will be too late. There's a link on your screen here to episode 5 for why free healthcare won't cover your retirement. Now, in episode 6, timing is everything. CPP, OAS. For a lot of people, these are the bedrock numbers that you're going to rely on and count on in your retirement income. They're also the most misunderstood in many cases. The biggest decision that you're going to have to make is when you start taking these benefits. You can start as early as 60 for CPP or as late as 70 for OAS, 65 or 70. Now, every year that you delay that, your payment increases. Now, in the video, I broke down the pros and cons for when delaying might make sense. For a lot of people, it does. It is a huge decision. You're going to be faced with this at some point. I also talk in the episode like issues about the child rearing provision. This is a provision that can help parents who took some time off work to stay home and look after their children. I'm also going to show you how to use the Service Canada online account so you can go in and see the actual numbers that you can expect before you decide when to take them. Now, in episode 7, I addressed the old school definition of retirement, which is never working again. And that idea is fast fading. A lot of Canadians are choosing to work part-time once they retire, maybe consult. And in some cases, no doubt it is for the money. But more often than that, it's for things like the social connection that you receive. It's for the purpose. It's hard to shut off a social network that you've just been in for 40 years or more and just fade out of that or just leap out of that without preparation. If you do choose to work, you got to understand how that extra income affects your taxes and your government benefits. As always, it's going to be a balance between staying active and not working just to pay the tax man. Key of this episode, I'll give you the tools to decide if a semi-retirement lifestyle is a better bridge for you than a hard stop. It'll depend on your own circumstances. A lot of people are choosing to work longer. I'll put a link on the screen here for episode 7. Now, your home is likely the biggest asset that you have. It's also probably your biggest expense. Now, in episode 8, I looked at the housing strategy, looked at questions like, should you downsize and unlock equity in your home? Should you just age in place, renovate for accessibility? A lot of people choose that option as well. The key to this decision is making it proactively. If you wait until a health crisis occurs, then you might lose the power to choose where you want to go. Now, in the video, I provided a checklist to help you decide if your current home fits the future vision of yourself when you retire. Now, probably not everyone's favorite topic, but this is really important. In the next episode, I talked about estate planning. And estate planning isn't really for you. It's actually for the people that you love, the people who you will leave behind. If you don't have a proper will or a power of attorney, then your family could literally face years and years of legal headaches, probate fees, unnecessary costs. In Canada, a lot of people don't know this, but probate fees vary by province. The core strategy, the core thought, though, remains the same. You need to designate someone who speaks for you when you can't speak for yourself. It comes down to something as simple as that. Now, in the episode, I also covered the importance, here we are in 2026 right now, the importance of digital assets. Who has the passwords to your life? You need to review your will. You need to ensure your powers of attorney for both property and personal care are up to date. I cover all of that. I then went on to talk about investing for cash flow. If you're in your 40s, your 50s, you are accumulating. Now, in retirement, very typically, you move into a deaccumulation phase. And that requires a significant shift in mindset, maybe a total shift in mindset. You need to move from chasing growth, that's your main focus, to generating consistent cash flow. I explored the income gap. This is the difference between your fixed income, so in many cases CPP, OAS, and your actual expenses. Then to bridge that gap, I looked at things like dividend paying stocks, covered call ETFs. These can provide some steady monthly income regardless of what the broader market is doing. The key consideration of this episode is what is the best way to rebalance your portfolio from growth to income as you approach and then enter into your retirement date. A reminder, a retirement plan is a living document. It is not static. And in this episode, I talked about the annual review. This is where you check things like your beneficiary designations. Life changes. You want to make sure that you are up to date. Did you know that a beneficiary in your RSP, in your TFSA, will actually override your will in most cases? A lot of people don't know that. Now, if you haven't updated those in many, many years, the money that you have left over might be sent to the wrong person. I'm not saying you actually hate your ex-spouse, but you probably don't want them inheriting your estate either. Key point here, set a review date with your spouse once a year to review your plan and adjust for any changes. Like I say, life changes, it's fluid. You should make sure that your plan is up to date as well. I then went on to talk about the snowbird life. And for a lot of us, the dream is to spend winter in the sun. Now, being a snowbird sounds great, but it goes way beyond simply, planning a vacation, buying a plane ticket. You have to navigate things like residency rules. And if you stay away too long, you could actually lose your provincial health coverage. You could incur a lot of extra taxes. We talked about the tax implications of owning property in the US. A lot of people choose to do that, and why you need specific travel insurance, a strategy that goes beyond just what your credit card provides. Now, maybe the most important takeaway is this. You need to consistently, accurately track your days out of the country if you're going to carefully protect yourself from some very serious tax implications, very serious, and insurance risks. I cover all that off. Link is on your screen. Retirement is a journey. It is not a destination. And I know that we've covered a lot of ground today. It might feel a little bit overwhelming. Remember, you don't have to do it all at once. That's why I've broken this down into the 12 different series. I would suggest if you're new to this, you might start with the why. That's in episode 1. Work your way through in order. It's sort of somewhat of a logical order. I will put the entire 12-part second act playlist on the screen. So maybe your strategy would be to pick the topic that's keeping you up at night and start there. If this summary was helpful, hit the like button, subscribe. It helps us reach a lot more Canadians just like you. Maybe forward the video to someone else that you love, if that makes sense. I want to say thank you so much for watching. Hope this provided you with some direction. If you're not sure where to start, the playlist is on your screen right now. That'll take you in the right direction. We'll see you in the next video.